Hello, and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through CODA. A very curry-filled incident just occurred. Kazusa destroyed her apartment, dropping the curry pan. Haruki had to come over and physically wash her because her hands are bandaged. They tried not to make it awkward, but it was very awkward. And now here we are. Let's continue from here. I glance toward Kazusa as I wipe the floor and see that she hasn't eaten a single one of the onigiri on her plate.
包帯取り替えたいから早く済ませてほしいんだけどな。
And then, as if ignoring my complaint, Kazusa reacts in the usual way, by turning in the other direction.
赤ん坊並みだなんて言って悪かったって謝ればいいのか？
She's sulking again. Seriously, what a pain.
カレーひっくり返すくらい腹減ってたんだろ？早く食ってぐっすり寝ろよ。
わざとひっくり返したわけじゃない。それに食べたくないわけでもない。
じゃあ何？
この手じゃ食べられない。
Oh no.
左手ならなんとかなるだろう。そっちは手首にしか包帯巻いてないし。
For some reason, that really made her angry.
お前何言ってるんだ？
何って何？
両手使うなってしつこく命令したの春樹じゃないか。私はその言いつけをきっちり守ってるだけだ。
Kazusa listens when it's convenient. She's very much a listener and rule follower by convenience only.
けどおにぎりくらい軽いものなら。
とにかく私はやらない。手だけは無茶するわけにはいかない。
And now she cares about this after punching a window.
その考え方を昨夜にも発揮してくれたら俺はこうして気を使わなくて。
It seems that made her even angrier. As usual, the intensity of her glare is leagues above anyone else's.
あのな、どうして今になってそんなわがまま言うんだよ。さっきまでカレーを一人で食おうとしてたやつが。
さっきカレーを一人で食べようとしてその行為を全否定されたからだ。
And her stubbornness is leagues above anyone else's as well. But for the most part, when she picks up that attitude...
なんだよ。あんしてくれなきゃ食べないとでも言うつもりか？
That little smile.
おい。
In truth, it's not like she's not angry, but there's a more prominent feeling within her too. That's why she's looking at me with upturned eyes right now.
お前さっき言ったよな。今の私は赤ん坊だって。
カズさ。
そのことを自覚しろって。何かあったら俺を呼べって。
いや、だからちゃんとお前でも食べられるように。
もういい。寝る。そして飢え死ぬ。
Oh no.
カズさ、お前いい加減に。
And then her expression shifts to a second, different one. Something's pooling in her upturned eyes.
言えよ。
カズさ。
いい加減にしろって。言えよ。もう面倒見きれないって言ってくれよ。
Oh no. And honestly, I do think that some of this is repressed trauma from her mom leaving her. Because those things could have been things that Yoko had said long ago, you know? And immediately afterward, she lets out her third expression. And what is pooling in her eyes is now falling to the floor. It's staining the floor that I just cleaned up.
捨てるんだよ。お前が。はっきり告げるんだよ。私に。昨べみたいに。さあ、
When things come to this, I have no way of fighting back.
お茶はいいか？
一口だけ。
よし。
In the right hand is a half-eaten onigiri. In the left hand is a half-empty cup of tea. And those hands, of course, belong to me.
もう一個。
God, Haruki, come on. Have a little bit of backbone.
俺も腹減ってるんだけど。
勝手に食べればいいだろ。別に全部よこせなんて言ってない。
それはそうだけど。
もう一個。
分かってるって。
With my hands occupied like this, I can't eat my own portion. But nothing can be done about that. I have no choice but to become Kazusa's hands, for now.
うまいか？
しょっぱい。私を高血圧で殺す気か？
高血圧は直接の死因にはならないぞ。
Oh,
正しく避難するなら、
come
そこから
on.
派生する病名を言うべきだ。脳卒中とか心筋梗塞とか。
God, Haruki's the type of guy that's just so irritating and so frustrating. Like, really? You know what she meant. Her whining is so predictable.
なんて予想通りのへりくつだ。お前つまんないよ。
悪かったな。
Everything about this is so predictable that my heart can't endure it.
つまんない上にバカだ。大バカだ。捨てた犬にまだ餌をやり続けるなんて。
カズさ。
そんなことされたら余計懐くに決まってるじゃないか。何考えてるんだよ、お前。
I wonder if the salty taste is caused by the salt alone?
でも、お前が食べられないって。
犬が口を開けるのは仕方ないことだろう。飼い主がしつけなきゃダメだろ。
Okay, that's a little, suggestive.
無茶言うなよ。
You've never been my pet, and you've never been mine, not even once. If I tell her of those feelings within me, I'm sure it'll be outdone by Kazusa's much more powerful feelings.
もっと。
ほら。
That's why I can only distract her by passing the time in a peaceful way right now. Without any conclusions, without any resolve, still loving her and still unable to love her.
春樹。
もう一個行くか。
That's why, right now, I grab the last onigiri just as Kazusa urges me to. So that we can divide it and eat it together, just like the last one that disappeared into my mouth.
そこをなんとか。連絡だけでも取れないでしょうか。
いえ、ですから何度聞かれても知らないことは答えようが。
Poor Yoko, she's trying so hard. Having to deal with Haruki, bless her soul. It's almost been a week since the concert. Ever since that day, I've been unable to find anyone who can tell me where Toma Yoko is, no matter how dependable the source is. Not even her own company.
決してご迷惑はおかけしません。海王社の北原と告げていただければ、社長さんも納得いただけるはずです。
ですね、北原さん。私もこうして何度もお話しさせていただいているので、あなたが信頼のおける方だというのは分かっています。
ありがとうございます。
ですが現在、弊社としてもトーマと連絡が取れない状態でして、実際困ってるんです。お恥ずかしい話ですが。
そうなんですか。
Judging from what this employee is saying, something like this would concern the survival of the very company, but I can't sense any nervousness from her tone. That's why I'm not sure if her answer is true, or if it's some organized plan they're all in on. Or if she's just used to Yoko's antics.
大変申し訳ありませんが、そういうことですので。
Seriously, where is Yoko-san? Is she aware of the state her precious daughter is in? Or how much she needs her mother right now? Or perhaps she thinks that everything will be fine as long as she leaves everything to me. Does she still have that kind of careless attitude? Even when the situation has changed so drastically?
わかりました。残念です。
お力になれず。
いえ、仕方ないです。カズサさんからぜひ会いたいとことづかってたんですが、やっぱり無理ですか。
That's a shame, really. I hoped to get through this without resorting to dirty tactics.
ちょっと待ってください。
それでは失礼します。もしも社長さんに連絡取れましたら、北原の方に。
だからちょっと、切っちゃダメではなく、お待ちください。
She keeps switching from business Japanese to like casual Japanese.
ですが、これ以上お手数をおかけするのも。
いいえ、今度はこちらから質問なんですが。
アンサンブルの記事チェックの件でしょうか。それでしたら週明けには。
弊社の東間和沙と連絡を取ったんですか？いつ？
直接コンタクトを取るのは問題ありましたでしょうか。ですが、最初の顔合わせの時には。
いえ、そういう話じゃなくて、彼女の居場所知ってるんですか？
あれ？おかしいな。つい先ほど滞在先に伺ってきたばかりなんですが。
どこです？滞在先って。彼女は無事なんでしょうか？怪我の具合は？
どうしてそちらで把握してないんです？連絡行ってるんじゃないんですか？
それは。
While they're perfectly willing to acknowledge Tomoyoko was missing, they're reacting differently to the more significant disappearance of Tomokazusa.
ですね、北原さん。実は私、困ってるんですよ。
Poor Miyoko. Oh no.
私も困ってます。
In other words, their lackluster reaction toward the other missing person, Tomoyoko, suggests
そちらに社長からの連絡が行けば、こちらに東間和沙から連絡が入るということでよろしいでしょうか。
起点の効いた対応、感謝いたします。
I feel like a kidnapper. But also, if they really, really wanted to find Kazusa, you think they wouldn't have checked her apartment? Like, that's so dumb. They wouldn't have sent someone to be like, hey, is Kazusa at the place where we told her to stay? Where her bed is? Where her stove is? Where her TV is? Is everybody dumb? After finishing a task that may or may not be related to my actual work, I am greeted by an onlooker by the name of Suzuki-san, who is waiting for me to finish the call.
作るのはヘンプロですよ。俺はお手伝いみたいなもので。
私の聞いた話じゃほとんど一人で作ってるってことだったけど、記事書いて写真撮って編集して印刷して営業して。
どこの同人誌ですか。
However, I can't say that I don't feel somewhat unsettled by the fact that I'm in charge of over half of this project. This certainly is outside the normal process of a major publisher. More like an idea a minor publisher would come up with.
単に作業量が多いだけですよ。基本的にはヘンプロの人たちにフォローしてもらうし、編集長も全面監修してくれるって。
それでもあれだよ、それ。
どれですか。
入社1年目にして編集後期の一番最初に名前が出るんだよ。
誰もそんなところ注目しませんって。
何言ってるの。まっちゃん大ショックだよ。彼も3年目なのに3番手から上に上がったことないんだよ。
Oh no.
鈴木さんも2番手から上がったことありませんよね。
These two are always going to be playing second banana to Haruki, which is honestly sad.
というか本人の目の前で煽らないでください。
だって本人の目の前でないと陰口になっちゃうじゃん。私そういう演出なの嫌だな。
だからって面と向かっていじめられてもちっとも嬉しくないんですけど。
The Toma Kazusa special issue that was originally supposed to be Ensemble's main article, but at some point it turned into a special issue boasting over 100 pages. Even though I'm receiving help from the professionals, this is pretty much a magazine of its own. Though it's worth celebrating because this is the first big project I've taken part in. The deadline is the end of February. The release will be in the beginning of March. A rather tight deadline established in order to not miss out on the Toma Kazusa craze.
私のおかげだな。
まあそれは否定しない。
See, from this angle, I don't mind this shirt as much. I know I was really criticizing it earlier. But when she turns to the side, suddenly the V is all like skewed and weird looking, and that's when I hate it. And right now, the woman on the cover is making fun of me right to my face. She made me wash her face and body just earlier. Then she described the curry I made again for her as terrible after all. And right now, she's making me change her bandages.
お前が初めて作る本がよりにもよって私の特集号なんてな。
トーマカズサと同級生だからって以外に俺が任される理由がないからな。
The swelling on her left hand is mostly gone, so I just left her wrist supporter on. Now I'm disinfecting the wound on her right hand. Hopefully with something other than your own saliva this time.
バイトから正社員になれたのだってお前が国際コンクールで準優勝した時の記事が認められたから。ほら動くな。
そっちこそもっと優しくしろ。お前のやり方いちいちしみるんだよ。
我慢しろ。自業自得だろ。
She relies on me for everything, yet her attitude goes beyond just complaining. The spoiled Kazusa is back. The selfish Kazusa is back. Her vigor has come back to life.
ひどい言い草だな。大恩人に対して。
See, this is what I'm talking about. Look at her right now. Why is the V suddenly stretched to... This is not how clothes work. This is not how clothes work. This is just meant to embellish and over-embellish. It still would have looked just as good if you made the V a regular V. Alright, I'm gonna stop ranting about it. It just really, really bothers me.
そこまで言うか。
さっきまでの話を聞いてたら、編集者としてのお前はどう考えても私に育てられたみたいなもんじゃないか。
違うね。そんなのはきっかけだ。
じゃあお前は自分が出版社に就職できたのも一発の編集者気取りができるのも全部自分の実力だっていうつもりか？
She's got a point.
それも違うな。俺を引っ張り上げてくれたある人のおかげだよ。
ある人？
Feeling happy that Kazusa is starting to go back to normal, I counter her complaints like usual.
バイトの頃俺の面倒を見てくれた先輩がいてさ、その人がお前の記事を任せてくれて俺を編集部に推薦までしてくれた。
And as I do that, I begin to talk about myself.
まだ若いのにものすごく有能で、しかも厳しくて。
Come to think of it, in the past, didn't Kazusa call me annoying because of this habit?
ついでにかっこよくて颯爽としてて、しかもものすごい美人だった。
女なのか？
It was.
今はアメリカの子会社に赴任してるけどさ、いずれは編集長になって戻ってくるってもっぱらの噂で。
If I remember correctly, the thing that annoyed her the most was...
好きだったのか？
お前な、見境なく嫉妬するなよ。
But then again, the way Haruki talks, you know, she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's talented. Like, learn to talk about someone without sounding like you're in love with them.
悪いかよ。
冗談だったのに。
冗談で済むか。
Thinking back, maybe that really was the reason. When I was talking about myself, there was a moment where Kazusa looked particularly annoyed.
お前の口から私の知らない女の話聞かされて冷静でいられるわけなんかないだろ。
とにかく一度でいいから彼女が歌ってるところを見てほしいんだ。
Aww.
絶対認識が変わるから。
I love seeing younger Kazusa. Look at that. Look at the memories. That was when I talked about Setsuna, a girl she didn't know back then.
そういえば喋り方とか身のこなしとかちょっとお前に似てたかな。
Don't start that again. You remember how Mari-san reacted when you said that to her.
私の面影を重ねたりしたか。
Wait, does that mean?
私に似てたから憧れたのか。
Kazusa must have felt conscious about me pretty early on, right?
確かに憧れてたけど別にお前に似てたからってわけじゃなかったよ。
Mari-san is 1,000 times more hardworking in her day-to-day life, so anyways.
ふざけるな。
力入れるな。傷が開いたらどうすんだ。
うるさい。
And then, with her hand free from her bandages for the first time in a while, she comes at my hand with her nails.
話せよ。包帯負けないだろ。
知るか。
It's not just her nails. Even her fingertips feel hard as rock. This part of her body alone is completely lacking in femininity. Oh, come on. You can be feminine and have calluses on your fingertips. Like, that's just a stereotype. But that's precisely why they're so precious. I have no choice but to watch those fingertips dig into the back of my hand.
可能するぞ。鎖切って手首からポトッと落ちるぞ。
Ugh, gross.
別にそうなったらなった時だ。
No need to describe it in detail. No matter how much I joke around, Kazusa will only respond in dead seriousness right now. This situation is almost identical to the time of our reunion, but Kazusa's almost like a completely different person from back then. Perhaps, in a sense, she's transformed into the real Toma Kazusa.
商売道具失ってどうやって生きていくつもりだ。
お前には関係ないだろ。
本当にこんなバカとは思いもしなかった。
That's why I have no choice but to respond to her in a tasteless and ugly manner.
バカだと思うか。
当たり前だろ。お前のこの両手はもうお前だけのものじゃ。
Okay, and this is where I fiercely hate Haruki. I hate when he says this. Because he's pretty much just saying you have no authority over your own body anymore. Your hands are for making other people happy, not yourself. Like, that's disgusting. I hate the way he says this.
私にとっては両手よりも大事なものがあるって言ったら。
Because her attitude is so half-assed, I have no choice but to accept any fastballs she throws at me. My only response was that my heart skipped a beat and it was difficult for me to breathe.
本当に気づいてくれてなかったのか。私全然隠せてないと思ってたんだけどな。
思い込みだよ。記憶を美化しすぎてんだよ。5年ぶりに会ったせいで勘違いで盛り上がってるだけだ。お互い。
Also, like, taking these feelings and boiling them down into that sentence is also very insulting to the both of them.
お前も盛り上がってるのか。
Putting all of her power into her pitch, Not worrying about appearances, she manages to catch me off guard using my own words against me.
すぐ忘れるって。少し時間が経って落ち着いたら、俺程度の男のことなんか。
5年忘れられなかったやつのことを数日間でどうやって忘れるって言うんだ？
カズさ。
何度も言ってるだろ。そんなに忘れてほしいのならお前から行動すればいいんだ。
Again, they both want the other person to let go because they're not strong enough to let go themselves. There is no room for doubt anymore. Right now, Kazusa is unquestionably a woman in my eyes.
お前が私に大嫌いだって言ってくれたら
やめろ。
二度と顔も見たくないってケラケラ笑いながら見下してくれたら。
やめろ。やめろよ。
そしたらさ、もしかして忘れられるかもしれないけどな。
いい加減にしてくれ。そんなの想像するのも嫌だ。
No matter how much I try to escape with my words, I can't let go of the hand I'm holding.
春樹、お前はひどい男だ。刹那にも私にもひどい男だよ。
At some point, Kazusa's fingers entwined around mine, but I can do nothing but pretend not to notice.
そういうの優しいなんて言わないんだぞ。ただの男のわがままでしかないんだぞ。
She's got that pinned pretty well.
わかってる。わかってるよ。
I can't even grasp back at the fingers entwining around mine. Even if she puts her other hand over them, even if she then rests her forehead on our hands.
かっこしいで何もかも手に入れたがって自分をいい人間だと思わせたいだけの上辺だけの最低の人間だぞ。
俺が最低なのは最初から分かってる。だから嫌われても仕方ない。
そうやって相手の心変わりに期待するところが最低だって言ってるんだ。お前は最低だ、春樹。だから意地でも嫌ってなんかやるものか。
Even if I feel the warm and soft sensation of her lips on the back of my hands. Things are certainly escalating.
はい、北原です。はい。はい。いえ、とんでもない。ご無沙汰してます。陽子さん。
Bum, bum, bum. It's been too long, far too long. Happy February. Happy in-game February, everyone.
美代子さん、怒ってるだろうな。
No, well, this is such a cutely intimate thing, though, having someone else brush your hair.
そりゃ当たり前だろ。
The next morning. Once I told Kazusa that I had gone out of my way to contact her office, she started complaining a lot as expected. Once I finally told her that it's about time she dropped by the office, she started grumbling, which made me an hour late for work.
なあ、なんて言い訳すればいいと思う？
まあ正直に話すしかないだろうな。誠意を見せれば向こうだって。
男に捨てられたショックで何も手につかなかったって？
おい。
It's the truth. Though I'm actually still in the middle of being late for work right now.
お前が正直に話せって言うからだ。それが私の真実なんだから。
そこまでぶっちゃける必要ないだろう。 だいたいお前最初は熱出してたんだから素直に病気で寝込んでたって言えば。
How do you like tell the truth, but not the actual truth? Like the half truth is enough. That's enough truth. God, he's so insufferable sometimes. Okay, so we'll stop out there for now. Thank you so much for being here with me on this episode of White Album 2, and I'll be back with more content shortly. Until then, hope you take care. See you!